Bastian. Now, if you followed my videos over the summer, you know that I've been working on a special project. And that project has been the Huckleberry Bastian survival knife. Now, Derek Tappan of Triple X Knives here in Nova Scotia has helped make this knife a reality. He's taken my concept and produced a real knife with it. And in this video, we're gonna check out the knife, see what it's capable of, see what things I might change, and we're gonna compare it to my prototypes just to see what's different. And I'll let you know now that the improvements, I like them a lot. So let's get to it. Let's do a few tests, and first we'll check out the specs just to give you a rundown of what it's all about. Well, we know how everyone loves specs, so we'll just go over those quickly. Now, this is a custom handmade knife, as I said, from Triple X Knives here in Nova Scotia. It is from tip to butt about 10.5 inches. It has a 5.5 inch blade. That is a flat grind. It has about a 1/4 inch spine at the thickest point, and it narrows down to the tip. It's made out of M2 steel, which is a steel alloy that includes tungsten and molybdenum. Hope I pronounced that right. The handle is micarta. It's kind of this dark micarta with these really beautiful orange inlays. Has a lanyard hole, an exposed pommel, and some jimping on the spine, and also an actual choil to help you sharpen. The handle thickness at its narrowest point is around 3.5 inches in diameter, and it thickens up to about 3 3/4. What I'm going to do now is take a look at how the finished blade compares with our prototype. Now, this prototype is about 2 versions from what I finally sent Triple X Knives. So there were a few changes, but not too many. Now, first off, the blade profile is a bit different. You can see how my blade is rather flat until we get out near the point, and it sharply has the bit of belly there, but it's not until further out on the point. What they did at Triple X was make a much better profile there. You can see it's a much nicer curve up to the point. It doesn't go out and then sharply go up, which is an improvement. Definitely, I much prefer that over how I had it. The spine itself is 90 degrees. It's nice and sharp right from this point here at the start of the jimping, right out to the tip of the knife, so you can run your fire steel at any point on both sides because it's really sharp. So the tip is a bit thinner than I had hoped. I wanted kind of a more robust tip, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. I didn't go too rough on it. I didn't really stick it in any wood and try to torque it and break it. But I mean, you shouldn't be doing that with your knife anyway. And everything is kind of a compromise, right? So by making it thinner, it's actually a little easier to use. I mean, you're going to be able to poke in and cut better with it, which if you watch this video, you're going to see some examples of that, where it's a lot easier and a lot more utility to use without that super thick tip. And I really don't think it's going to break. I don't think it's going to fail. I think there's enough steel there that you're going to be good as long as you're not trying to abuse it. The next difference would be in the jimping. Now, they put a stylized jimping on here, which I believe he does for his knives, and aesthetically it looks really nice. I like it a lot, but it's a bit rounded, so it's not quite as grippy as I was hoping. Maybe if it was just a bit rougher, you could really dig in there. You can go on the sides a little bit and dig in, and that's good. So a few changes that were made with the handle. One, it would have been expensive and time consuming to put the logo in there. So we just dropped the logo for now. But what he did was very nice, is he put these orange liners in here, which look really slick. I like those a lot, and orange going with our theme and color. So I really love that. The next thing that was done was a reshaping of the butt, and I love the butt here. It's way better than what I had in my prototype, and he did that to kind of get rid of any hot spots, because when you're using it, that probably would have led to some nasty hot spots in there and wouldn't have been very comfortable using. And I feel the profile that he used here, much slicker, much nicer to look at, and this is definitely what I'm going to be going with from now on. Also, you can see my lanyard hole was ridiculously large. I'm not sure why I made it that large, but it was. And you can see this one fits the 4mm paracord fine and looks much more attractive. Now, one thing is you can see I have this exposed pommel for striking. Now, on the knife, it's still there, but it's really close to the scales. I would have liked that to come out a bit more, because just so you weren't damaging the scales if you decided to use this as a hammering surface. Now, there's some philosophy with that. Do you want to use your knife as a hammer or not? And I mean, it's nice to have if you have to use it, but it's probably not a feature you're going to be using all the time. So it's a bit of a compromise. However, I would like that out just even a few millimeters more. But right now, it's out of the way. There's no hard edges there, and that's nice. So on my design, I had it narrow here on the handle, and it would thicken as it goes towards the back. And my idea with that, and they followed that, you can see it here on the finished product. My idea with that was that if you were using it to hammer, or just using it to chop or anything, is that widening would allow it to not slip forward on you, so your hand's not going to slip back as much. And that was the idea behind that, and it feels like it works. But one thing is that it did make the handle rather thick. Now, I have small hands, so someone else might not mind that as much, but if the handle was just a bit thinner, I think it would be a bit more comfortable for my hand. Now, I don't really feel any hot spots or anything when I'm holding and using it, except for one area I noticed after I did some of my cutting tests and things like that, was right here on my pinky is a bit of a hot spot, and I think that is just because my hand, if it was just a tiny bit bigger, would go down into this groove a bit more with the pinky, but it doesn't, so it leaves a bit of a gap there where my pinky slides around. But that's a minor thing, and I really didn't notice it that much. So how does this do for chopping? I think it chops great. I mean, I designed it with chopping in mind, and in my preliminary testing, it just it hacks through wood really nice, as you can see in these clips. Just having no problem. You can do green wood, you can do dead wood. It just hacks right through, and it's really comfortable when doing that. You can use it like this, and I was for most of my chopping, but you can also kind of choke up back this way. Just get your pinky or your hand in your lanyard there and come back and really give it a lot of force. everyone, that's all for today. This was a really fun project to do, and I think it came out even better than I thought it would. I'd like to put a special thank you out there to Derek Tappan of Triple X Knives here in Nova Scotia, and of course Eric Fisher for doing the sheath of Fisher Custom Leather in New Brunswick. Together it's just one amazing package. I'm going to be carrying this around pretty much exclusively from now on. My other knives are probably going to get ignored for a bit, but I really want to make a point that we need to support guys like this and other local craftsmen and businesses, because if they disappear, your ability to get something made, something that you just had an idea, you got it down on paper, and then decide to go out and get it made, that kind of opportunity is definitely going to disappear. So make sure you support your local businesses and people with old school skills. Anyway, I'll catch you next time.